Hello everybody and welcome back to Create Aeronautics. In the previous episode, we explored basically our entire world and we traveled basically 10,000 blocks in every single direction from spawn, looking for a new place to settle. And I think I found basically the perfect place to actually get started in this world. This area is so beautiful. I've kind of been looking around a little bit more as well, kind of discovering everything there is to discover nearby here. And let me tell you, this area is going to be perfect for getting started with our world. So in between episodes, like I said, I kind of took a look around. I also began setting up here as well. I found a nice place down here over by the river. And got basically my basic crate set up here. We have a few water wheels powering this entire system. We have a few more inside of this area here as well. And we can take a look down here. I think we have 5 in total, maybe 6. We aren't using a rotation speed controller just yet. And that's kind of because I wanted to save it for doing that on camera. So we basically have the exact same setup that we had before we moved. But now it's just all connected together and in one sort of more convenient spot instead of all over the world. I've also sort of been planning out exactly where I want pretty much everything to go, at least kind of a basic general idea. So this sort of area right here is actually going to be all farmlands, and we might actually expand further into this forested area for the farmlands. I haven't quite decided yet. For now, I just have our really basic different crops set up here. So I have cabbage, tomatoes, which is a new addition, carrots, and wheat. These 3 here are what I use to make the chicken sandwiches, so they're definitely necessary. Tomatoes are something that we'll be using more in the future, I think. And of course, I also have this little chicken farm set up here, and I'm just using a pulse timer from the create mod in order to automatically dispense the eggs out. It's really simple. It's not automatic yet. I think I literally just set this up last night, so these guys haven't even fully grown up yet. Over here, which is pretty close to where I have the base setup, I added the sort of the same setup that we had before with the lava tanks. So we just have lava down here. That's being pulled up from some pipes down here into this fluid tank over here. I did increase the height, and this is now I believe a fully maxed out fluid tank. So this is actually pretty close to where I want a road as well. This is going to be a bridge, and we'll just have a road leading over here and towards the village as well. So I think I want to turn this into a little refueling station. I don't know if we'll get to that today, but it's definitely on the plans. So the plan for today's episode is to get a workshop built up here, sort of get all of the decorations in place. I also want to try to get to a max level steam engine today as well, and have that operating our base instead of a bunch of water wheels. I also want to finally get started with the Easy Villagers mod, which we've had for a while installed, but we actually haven't even made a single trade with any villagers as far as I can remember. So we should probably get set up with that as well. We'll probably need experience as well, but I don't know if we'll be able to get to that today. So if you're excited to get the engineer's workshop up in place today, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. It helps the channel out a ton and lets me know that you guys are interested in this series. And without any further ado, let's get started. And I think probably the best place to start today is actually going to be to craft the mech trowel. This will allow us to place blocks randomly and just save us a little bit of time when building. And I do want everything in this world to be textured somewhat, and this tool will definitely help with that. So we just craft this with a single iron ingot, a block of iron, and a stick. Really not too bad. So what this does is it places random blocks from our hotbar. Right now I have cobblestone, andesite, and I had some dirt here. So it's just going to randomly place these and definitely make it a lot easier to get a sort of random appearance in our builds. And I think I want to use andesite for our main building here, mostly because it's the block that we have basically the most of. I did have a lot more stone, but I accidentally deleted it. I used the carry-on mod, and I placed it onto the helicopter, and for some reason it just completely deleted itself. So unfortunately I lost like a couple thousand cobblestone, which is a little bit unfortunate. So now I just need to build up a pallet here. I'm going to use the mason's table and just figure out a few different ones that might look good, I think, together. And I think that this is going to be a pretty good sort of palette here. So we have regular andesite, polished andesite, weathered andesite, and andesite bricks. So I guess we can just go ahead and get started with building here. Unfortunately, I don't know if the time lapse is going to work or not. If not, I will see you in just a little while. Alright, so I actually need... I need a ton of copper for the base that I'm building right now, and I was just mining regular copper here for it, but I noticed on the map you can see there's actually a trial chamber here, and it is pretty obvious. It kind of builds a square around it, so it was pretty easy to tell that this was a trial chamber. But yeah, I don't think I'm ready to take this on yet, unfortunately, though. Because I'm getting pretty much like 2 or 3 shot by the skeletons here. And I do only have 2 pieces of diamond armor currently. I have boots as well, but they don't have the slime boot ability. So I'm just wearing normal slime boots. But I was thinking that this might be a good time to start working on at least some basic enchantments. We won't get into some of like the automation and everything of enchantments yet. But I think getting some villager trades up might be a good idea right now as well. So to get started with the easy villagers mod, I think what I want to do is start off with making a breeder. We do already have plenty of villagers from the exploration that we did, but it's definitely going to be nice having a massive backlog of villagers as well. And while I'm waiting for some things to smelt up as well, this is the progress that I've made so far on the build. It's not quite done yet, obviously, but we did go for, like, well, that's lightning. We did go for a mostly andesite sort of look for this, and we're using industrial iron window panes for this. This looks pretty cool. I definitely liked how this ended up looking. And the design itself is supposed to feel almost a little modern-y. Definitely like an older style building, mostly like brick and everything. So I kind of established some of the lore in the last episode, and this is just a little bit of a recap, and I've sort of fleshed out a little more of the details as well. So we were sent to this planet here. We still need a name for it. I'm not entirely sure what we would actually end up naming it. We were sent here by the Starfish Mining Company, which is basically an intergalactic mining company that would like mine out like asteroids and meteors and maybe even entire planets and suns. We were sent here to basically determine whether or not this planet can sustain life and be used for its resources, essentially. Unfortunately, though, as we got closer to the atmosphere, something went wrong and we ended up crash landing. And we could take a look at the map. We crash landed over here, probably in the ocean somewhere, and then maybe swam to land. And from the ship that is now sunken and probably lost to sea, we brought some schematics with us that basically allow us to build like vehicles and certain sort of objects and machinery. My character himself is actually an engineer who worked on some of these machines, specifically the ship that actually ended up crash landing. So maybe he's not the best engineer. So after gathering some resources on the planet, basically he built up the Dragonfly, which is one of the schematics from the crash ship. And he scouted out some of the nearby areas to determine a nice place to actually get set up here and start surviving. And I guess he would eventually discover, or maybe he's already discovered, that this planet can indeed sustain life because we found the villagers over here. And this area that he discovered is the perfect place for a colony to be placed here. And of course, the reason that we need a colony on this planet is because our home planet is dying. Basically, natural disasters have completely destroyed the surface of the planet, making it completely inhabitable to human life. So it is my character's goal to eventually find a place for a colony to be settled. And once he arrived here at this village, he decided that he wanted to help them sort of modernize a little bit. He wanted to introduce them to proper farming because this is their limits of agriculture, just a couple of really tiny fields and some animal pens. And basically just upgrade the infrastructure here, which will benefit the future colony as well as me because I will have access to additional labor forces. But I think we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves with the village because we need to focus on sort of getting set up here and surviving and building up a engineer's workshop that will allow us to continue to build up these vehicles and mechanisms and basically design everything in the world. All right, I think I stalled long enough to let some glass and iron smelt up so we could actually get started with the easy villagers mod now. And like I mentioned, I want to start with the breeder. Now, nitwits can't have jobs. They do work really well inside of breeders though. Here we go, we can make our first breeder here. Nice, so I'm just going to, let's start building in the village, I think. Because the village is where I'll be having all of the easy villager stuff and everything to do with the villagers. And eventually I will be upgrading the buildings themselves, but for right now, this is gonna have to do. Let's see here. So I think we just right click the villagers inside here. Here we go. We have a couple of nitwits in there. And now with some bread, we can go ahead and feed them. You can automate this with hoppers as well, which we will definitely be doing. And eventually they will produce some more baby villagers. Next up, for actually trading with the villagers, we need to make these traders. They're just made with iron, glass panes, and redstone, super simple. And of course, we're gonna need some more villagers and some workstations. We're gonna start off with composter. So we can just go ahead and place these down on the ground. These cannot be automated with hoppers. You actually need, I believe it is the auto trader, which requires a netherite ingot, which we definitely don't have any of yet. So we can go ahead and place our farmers inside here and put the composters inside as well. And this basically just allows us to use the default villager trading thing. We also have cycling trades, so we can easily cycle through and figure out exactly the best trades for us. And I think carrots are probably going to be one of the best trading options here, especially because we already have a full field of them and we don't really need that many for making sandwiches. So this is definitely a good one to get traded with. And we probably won't want to use wheat, but I will set it up for one of our trades just to have it. Since of course we already have a full wheat field, and I'm probably going to be turning most of this area out here into a giant wheat field. Oh, and we can actually trade tomatoes as well. Okay, I wasn't quite sure if that was available. And I think this is going to be a pretty good trade here. Carrots and wheat, that's exactly what we grabbed. So not too bad. And unfortunately, it looks like you can't actually trade cabbage here. So instead, I'm just going to go with tomatoes and wheat for the second one. All right, and next I want to get started with some librarian villagers. And I'm also going to get our first enchanting table set up here as well. All right, so in order to actually enchant my armor, I'm going to need some experience. So right now I'm just down here looking for some spawners. I've already grabbed 2, and there's a couple here as well. One of them I think is a zombie spawner, the other is a spider spawner. So one of the cool things that you can do is actually just use the carry-on mod and actually pick up a spawner. It does occupy both of your hands though, so you do have to sort of manually get back up to the surface with it, but honestly it's not too much work. So far I have 3 spawners, 1 skeleton, and 2 zombies. Obviously we can keep exploring the nearby area, but I think this is honestly going to be pretty good for now. I don't think I want to do the spider spawner, honestly, just because you have to sort of make the farm a little bit different with spiders, so I think that this is probably going to be just fine. All right, I have been hard at work grinding and getting a ton of levels and finishing up the mob farm, of course. And I've fully enchanted, or mostly fully enchanted, all of my gear. I even have a pretty decent sword here. No sharpness 5 quite yet, but definitely going to be working on getting that. I just have a shield with mending here. So if we take a look at the armor really quick, we have fire protection 4, respiration 3, unbreaking 3, and mending. The reason I have fire protection on this is supposedly if you have full protection 4 on all of your other pieces of gear, a 4th piece of gear with regular protection actually won't do that much. So I figured getting fire protection was decent. I also just got it and I saw that it had respiration 3 on it. So I was like, yeah, I might as well just use this. The brass jetpack, of course, has protection 4. Now, you actually can't enchant it inside of the enchanting table. You need to use a villager, and I have a few villagers set up here. So we have a protection 4 villager, of course, mending and unbreaking 3. I also have a Fletcher here that's for the really easy stick trade here as well. I thought you could trade them arrows, but I guess not, or maybe it's a later on trade. I'm not entirely sure. But then I also have this cleric, and I actually had to go out to get the brewing stand here because I actually didn't have one. I didn't have any blaze rods either, so I just went to a nearby village and found it, and I just have them set up to basically just trade all of the rotten flesh away from this mob farm. So I AFK'd here, not overnight, but I did fall asleep. I was laid in bed, fell asleep for maybe 3 or 4 hours, woke up, and I think I had about 2,500 XP nuggets here. And I guess the time lapse, I did take a time lapse of this and it did work, but I couldn't really get a good sort of glimpse of the system here. So essentially we just have a deployer using a diamond sword. This diamond sword is pretty decent. It has sharpness 3, sweeping edge 3, looting 3, and mending. Now, mending is definitely the most important part. I'd like to get unbreaking on this as well as soon as possible, but for now, mending will keep this sword fully healed up. That is actually a relatively new addition with the deployer. In the past, mending actually didn't work for this, so you would actually have to swap out your swords. Fortunately, all you need to do now is just put the sword with mending in there. I'm probably going to get shot here. Put the filter here on the deployer itself, and that will actually keep the item inside of the deployer. And then down below, I just have a chute that pulls the items out. So the deployer, when it kills a mob, it will actually have the items inside of its inventory. Those will get pulled out into a chute, and then I just have an attribute filter here on this brass funnel. This is for basically unstackable items, and those just get sent down here. At one point I did have a fire, but I was like, if an item that I don't want gets sent down here, then I can at least go and pick it up. So right now I just have it set to despawn those items, which will definitely cause a little bit of lag. So I'll probably add a fire here pretty soon. So also underneath of here I have a drawer controller, and that's connected to all of these drawers. We haven't really talked about drawers in this series yet. They basically act like a bunch of connected chests. Each one can hold one item. There are other variants where you can have like an item in the top, an item in the bottom, 4 items, etc, etc. But right now I just have all of these with one. They can hold, I believe it was 32 stacks, which is about 2,000 items each. We can upgrade these as well to increase our storage, but this should be pretty good for right now. And then I also just have my enchanting table over here, of course. It just makes it a little bit easier. That way we don't have to travel to a completely different building. I also built an anvil here, and I've been just using that to combine our different items together. Oh, and I think I forgot to talk about the rest of my armor here. On the diamond leggings, I just have protection for Unbreaking 3. I haven't gotten a mending book for it yet because I'm still waiting for some trades to kind of refresh here. We definitely need to go out and get some more clerics as soon as possible. Oh, I think that's actually enough to get a mending book. Nice. So I can go ahead and put that on my leggings, and those will actually begin to repair. If you actually have nuggets of experience, by the way, these will repair your gear pretty instantly as well, which is really, really nice. Eventually, when we get into the enchanting industry mod, we'll have like liquid XP, and we can drain our player of XP, or we can add specific amounts and everything, and it'll be just a little bit easier. This is a pretty, not really temporary, but kind of temporary, very early game sort of mob farm here. So I just need to make a few more preparations, mostly just clearing out my inventory, and then I should be ready to take on that trial chamber. I just need to quickly fill up my back tank again. And by the way, I did see that the brass jetpack can actually be upgraded into a netherite jetpack, which has 8 armor instead of the default +6, which is just a little bit more. Yeah, I was gonna say it is just as good as getting the basic netherite chestplate, which is actually gonna be pretty nice. There's also a few other netherite pieces of gear that we can get in the future. I'm not quite there yet. I want to make a special tunnel bore for mining in the nether. I just am not at that stage yet, unfortunately. But yeah, I need to fill up my jetpack here. All right, we are back right outside of the trial chamber here. So let's go ahead and take this thing on. It's a little bit further in here than I thought. Like I said, let's take this thing on. Here we go. So I am mostly here for the copper, but I will be taking some of these guys out as well. These are breezes. Nice. And we got our first trial key here. Not too bad. And we just use these keys on the vaults, and they start to drop some random items, basically. We might be able to get lucky. It looks like we got a honey bottle, a golden apple, and some arrows, so not too many things here. Wow, even with basically full protection for armor, I am taking a lot of damage. Second trial key obtained. And I think there was a vault right here. Let's see if we get anything good. Not really. Now, I have actually taken on a trial chamber before in my Forever world, which, by the way, those videos are available on YouTube if you want to check that out. It's just vanilla Minecraft, and we kind of do all of the newer things that come out every update. It's a pretty cool little series. But I think I'm not going to spend too much time on that in this video, specifically on the trial chambers, because we've already kind of covered it on this channel before. So I've explored around just a little bit here, not too much, but yeah, I think I'm ready to just kind of get started with mining this thing out and hopefully get a ton of copper that we can use in our future builds. Alright, so I've spent a little bit of time decorating the outside of our engineer's workshop. Unfortunately, I did make a time lapse of this, but because I moved my vehicles, I think that it kind of messes with the camera a little bit. And so basically, yeah, unfortunately that time lapse didn't work, but yeah, here we go. So we have a nice little platform out here where we can at least have our vehicles parked. I decorated the side here as well with just some copper from the trial chamber that we took down. I'm thinking I might want to change some of these cogwheel textures out for the weathered version, just because they blend in a little bit too much here, I think. But I think it's going to be fine, honestly. These ones are supposed to look a little more like pipes or like HVAC kind of things. I still need to add some more decorations up here as well. Also, I updated a few mods, most notably, well, I guess the most notable one is that we actually have the, I think it's called Chaos Cubed update now. So we have like sulfur and like the sulfur cubes and all of that. I'm sure I'll eventually discover that, but I haven't even touched any of that in vanilla Minecraft, so I don't even know if I'm gonna bother with it in this series, but you know, maybe we play around with the sulfur cubes a little bit at some point. But also I updated the create stuff and additions mod, and you can see there's actually two health bars for our drill and the jetpack now, and we can actually see the fuel and the water levels now. That's so cool. Also, there's a brand new enchantment for the portable drill that basically adds vein miner to it, which yeah, we're definitely gonna get in the future. Oh, right, and I almost forgot to mention that I also added the tracks mod. So as soon as I'm able to, I'm probably gonna upgrade the mining bore with some proper tracks. The belts were definitely a fun idea. However, they really don't work very well with sort of uneven terrain, and that's kind of all that they operate on currently with this mining machine. So yeah, thanks to everybody who suggested using the tracks mod as well, by the way. I was aware of it, but I wasn't sure. I kind of wanted to test out the belts first. But unfortunately, I do think that they need an update before we're actually able to properly use them in this mod, unfortunately. But yeah, anyway, so my plan right now is to continue working on sort of this area right here. This is probably going to be one of the most important areas in sort of our little city area here, because this right here is we're gonna have a road. I think it's gonna go on this side, but right here is actually a gas station. So this is where we're gonna be refueling all of our vehicles with lava. This area right here is also going to be a road that passes through here. So we definitely absolutely need some dirt placed down here, and this entire area sort of smoothed out just a little bit. So I'm going to continue to work on that, and hopefully we can get the time-lapse working this time. I won't touch any vehicles this time around, so hopefully that'll work out. Yeah, I'll see you guys in just a little bit. Alright, and I think this path is looking pretty good. We have a spot right here for a future gas station. I might have to move the tank, or maybe we can just pipe it over here or something. I think the building itself is going to go right here-ish though, so yeah, this road will continue past. We might have it loop back. I'm not entirely sure. I don't have all the roads planned out quite yet. But I do want to give the Jeep, or I should probably call it maybe the Rover or something, a little test, which by the way, I did actually get back up and running, so yeah, it does move now. It's very slow, but I think it'll be pretty nice for our tests here really quick. And I'm already thinking we probably need to widen the road. I made it 7 wide, but yeah, even our smallest vehicle is about 7 blocks wide. So yeah, maybe we double, especially the main sort of road that goes through here. By the way, I did go for a fairly smooth ramp right here, just in case like some of our other vehicles can't quite get over. Anything with wheels should be fine, but like the tracks, for example, might struggle a little bit here. Alright, so I'm currently using the Dragonfly to bring the boar back to base. It's just a little bit easier than trying to have to go all the way over all the hills and everything. And yeah, so I'm bringing it back here so we can actually start working on it and maybe get some tire treads on this instead. It is very heavy right now. I also replaced the drills on the front with sort of an X design. I'm trying that out. I tried it for a little bit, but it didn't seem that much better than the 2 individual ones, but it might just be because of how the tracks were working with it. So let me get back down and get this thing disconnected. And I'm just going to build a really quick and temporary sort of craning mechanism for this. That way we can lift it up and sort of see what we need to work with underneath of it. So I haven't really messed around with this in creative yet. So this is going to be kind of experimental. So what we're going to need are these track mounts. Then we'll also need suspension track and track drive wheels. The track drive wheels will actually give power to the tracks themselves, whereas the suspension tracks are just there for suspension. So the way we currently get power to these tracks is I believe it's right here. Yeah, so right here is where we're gonna pull our power from. And just for experimentation right now, I'm just gonna make 6 of these because I'm not entirely sure how many we're actually gonna need. Each side has 11 blocks. So I'm not entirely sure if I'm gonna need like 22 in total to sort of replace our single belt that we had before. And we definitely have to be careful when we break blocks on this, because I did accidentally break one of the redstone links. And it's been a while since I've actually done anything on this, so I have no idea what I just broke. But we could get the rest of these guys in place. There, and I guess all the way back here. Here we go. So I'll put let's just put a drive wheel here. Okay, that's kind of interesting. Oh, it looks like we might need to put them all the way through, huh? Put that there. This need to be rotated around. Why does it look like that? I'm not entirely sure. Do we put belts on these? And I think when I just broke those just now, they actually disappeared, so... Oh man, I'm gonna try this one lower just so we can kind of experiment a little bit more. So we put that there. Okay, it does turn around, that's good. So it'll look a little weird like that. Interesting. Alright, so I decided to take my testing into creative. Unfortunately, it seems like I'm probably gonna have to completely redesign the mining bore, which, yeah, is not something I want to do today. So instead, I added the digging enchantment to the portable drill, which we have a librarian here now because you can't actually get it in the enchanting table. You do have to find the book. I also found the Above the Clouds enchantment, which is an enchantment for the jetpack. And it's supposed to allow you to keep going up and fly limitlessly. Oh, it seems like it's working now. I was gonna say it wasn't working for me, but I guess it is now. Okay, cool. So yeah, now we can actually fly limitlessly with our jetpack, which will actually make flying around in the dragonfly wherever it is. There it is. Just a little bit easier. And by the way, the reason that I was messing around with the mining machine is because I'm gonna start working on a pretty large building right here, and it's going to take a ton of andesite. I think I'm going to build it in the similar, basically the same style that I already used here. However, it's going to be 2 or 3 stories tall because it is going to be a garage where we can work on some of our vehicles. So yeah, I just need to collect a ton of materials, so I think I'm just going to try to do this manually for right now. And the way that this digging enchantment works for the drill is it basically just gives you a 3x3 area. I was going to use the other one, but I don't always want to have vein miner, basically. I think 3x3s are a little bit more convenient, and it doesn't work on anything that's like wood or anything. It doesn't even work on grass. It's just for stone and ores. So I think this is a pretty decent compromise. So now that we have the 3x3 enchantment, this thing consumes so much more fuel. So I'm thinking that I want to work on getting some tanks set up. Now the small filling tank really shouldn't be too bad. It's just a fluid tank. And then we can just upgrade that with copper and more copper. Really, this isn't going to be too bad at all, but this only holds water. The tricky part is that we're going to need small fueling tanks as well. These will hold our lava, but these are going to require sturdy sheets. Now, we actually have not done sturdy sheets at all yet. So this is going to be powdered obsidian. Powdered obsidian is just obsidian inside of the crushing wheels. And then we just need to spout lava over it, then press it 2 times. And each of these is going to require 4 of these sturdy sheets. So we're going to need to do this 12 times in total. We'll also need sturdy sheets later on. I believe these are used for the train things. Let's see here. Yeah, for the train casings and getting all of the train controls and the stations and everything set up. So we will definitely need sturdy sheets soon. I think I'm just going to do it sort of manually for right now. So I'll start with the small filling tank, which we just convert a fluid tank into the small filling tank. And then we can immediately upgrade that into the medium one with 4 copper. And we can immediately upgrade that one into a large filling tank. And the large filling tank, by the way, it can hold up to 32 buckets, it looks like, of water, which is enough to double our capacity for the drill and the backpack. The tanks also, by the way, will automatically fill our devices. So, for example, I can go and I think I just right-click this on the ground like a bucket. Yeah, here we go. And that will actually begin to fill up the drill. Yep, okay, so the drill has to be in your hand, it looks like, but the jetpack does automatically fill. Nice. Next up, we can crush some obsidian. Now, when you crush obsidian, it's actually pretty cool. Sometimes you have a chance of just getting the full block back, which means that you can actually keep cycling your obsidian through the crushing wheels. For example, I had just put 13 obsidian inside of the crushing wheels, and I got 10 obsidian and 13 powdered obsidian back, which is really, really good. Next up, I'm going to need to make a spout, which is just a copper casing mixed with a dried kelp. Really not too bad. And I kind of want to experiment with this. Whoops. Here we go. Let me pick that back up. Here we go. And I want to just put down some blocks here. Maybe let's go one more higher. Put the gold backpack down and we'll set this to output. And I'm just curious to see if this will actually work. Will that begin to fill? Oh my gosh, it does work. Okay. So we could actually just fill this spout up with the backpacks. This is so overpowered. And that'll just begin to turn these into the unprocessed obsidian sheets. And we can go ahead and grab these. And of course they don't stack. But now we just need to put these inside of the mechanical press. And I believe that'll go twice. Here we go. And there's our first sturdy sheet. So now I just need to run these all through. It really shouldn't take too much time. And now I just need to make a new tank, which we just put copper sheets around here. Oh, is it? Oh, it's 2. That's right. Here we go. And then we can surround that in our sturdy sheets. Here's our small fueling tank, medium, and finally our large. Nice. And I'm curious as well. Yep, it looks like we can actually just right-click on our backpack. Oh, I guess we're... I think we're just putting it in and then pulling it back out. I'm curious. I wonder if... Oh, we can fill it with the spout, though. That'll actually be nice for automation. Ooh, I didn't even think about that. So yeah, that'll keep my jetpack and my portable drill fueled up for a lot longer now. So now I can finally return to mining and hopefully get enough andesite for this build. Alright, and not too bad of a haul overall. So we got a ton of andesite, a good amount of crimsite. I've been running pretty low on iron, so I definitely wanted to grab as much crimsite as I could. We got a few more diamonds, some gold and copper. I even found a new zombie spawner to add to my collection, which I'll add to the spawner room down here in a little bit. But for right now, I want to get started on this building over here. So let's go ahead and roll that time lapse. Hopefully it works this time. Alright, and here is the progress that I've made so far. Unfortunately, the time lapse didn't quite work out. I'll put it on the screen here really quick. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what keeps happening with that, but anyway, so I've added some more decorations here to the top of this building. I don't remember quite what I've shown already. This video's been pretty long. But yeah, I've just been using these factory blocks, which I thought were part of based chipped, but apparently they aren't. So this is a added mod to the list here. It's just stone and iron, and that makes 32 blocks. It's a really cheap block to make. And so we just have various different sorts of decorations up here. It's all lit up as well with some lights. And the sort of main building here, it's sort of a like garage. It's going to be mostly big and empty, except for probably this last part back here. I might have some more things here that we build in the future. Also, I did disassemble my mining machine here, and apparently the drills kind of went inside. It kind of turned around, and yeah, I'm not entirely sure what happened to it, but yeah, anyway. Unfortunately, I think that this thing is probably going to get disassembled here pretty soon anyway, so that we could actually get one that works with the tire tracks. Also, I don't think I ever showed off the interior here, except for when we were talking about the machines at the beginning of this episode. I've basically just used sanded andesite and polished andesite to give it sort of a almost like a concrete floor look with like sort of little patches here and there. And then of course we still have all of our machines in here. Thinking that I'm probably going to disassemble all of these and sort of reorder them. And also this vault, which is my main storage right now, was right here. However, I decided to move it over here because this is like a little bit more of a workshop area. Now, what I'm thinking also is I'm pretty sure that I'm going to be able to repeat this over onto this side. So we basically have a terminal on either side of this wall, which should definitely make this a lot easier to access. But this definitely is not our long-term storage situation. I want to get a pretty big storage system going at some point with like frog ports and having all of them like accessible through like a single interface and all of that, but that's something that we'll do a little bit down the line. And I think to capstone off this episode, what I want to do is finally replace our water wheels here. Oops, here we go. I keep forgetting that this is a 3x3 drill. I want to get all of this down here sort of replaced. I'll probably leave the ones that are here on the outside just for decoration, but I definitely want to get a actual steam engine up and going. I'm still debating on whether I want it in here. I think I do, just because it's going to be a pretty big one. And I definitely want quite a bit of room in order to actually expand this in the future if we need to. I am also planning on having a like sort of a power station and a power grid later on, but we really just need to get things up and going right now. We're actually almost on day 300 in this world, and it feels like sometimes we're only on like day 100. Either way though, I have made a few blaze burners here. So I'm going to head over to the nether to grab some blazes. I also want to grab a minecart. And let's see here, a cart assembler and a rail. Also a lever. Here we go. And that way we can actually pick up a blaze spawner. And I'm also realizing I haven't even been to the nether in this new area. So I'm actually going to need to build a new portal, and I don't have any obsidian. So I need to go and mine some more. Fortunately, it's pretty easy to get more obsidian with a lava bucket. Oh, a cool thing about this new location is that I'm actually way closer to the fortress than I was before. This is actually the fortress that we discovered quite a while ago. Nice. So I'm just going to look for a blaze burner here, or a blaze spawner, I should say. Gonna fill these guys up, and there's a wither skeleton here. And I'll just put my rail down below, my cart assembler below that, minecart in there. Oh gosh, this place is pretty dangerous. And once we give this a redstone signal, if I can stop getting hit here, oh my gosh. And like I was saying, once we give this a redstone signal, that will actually make this deactivated, and it is movable now. And I forgot that we actually need to go into our settings for create. We go into create, server contraptions, find movable spawners, and we're just gonna set that to movable. So now when we right click this with a wrench, here we go, we can actually pick it up now. And while I'm here, I don't think I got any nether wart last time, and I didn't check any of these chests either. Nice, we got some diamond horse armor. And I could probably use some more quartz as well while I'm here. I think the last time I was in the nether, I actually didn't even have a jetpack yet. So it's definitely a lot more convenient now. We can actually do a little bit more exploration. And anything good in here? Oh, soul speed. Okay, that's pretty good. Some more obsidian, some gold. Oh, time to leave. Ah, nice. We got the blaze upgrade for the blaze burner. This is actually how you upgrade the blaze burner into a blaze forger or the blaze enchanter for the create enchantment industry mod, which we'll definitely be getting to in the future as well. It didn't even register that we also got our first bit of ancient debris in one of those chests. I didn't even realize it until I was just here. Nice. So I've named this contraption Blaze Spawner, and I am going to put it in my system for just right now. Eventually, I would like to add it to the spawner farm, but for right now, I just want to focus on getting the steam engine up and running. And I'm going to need a ton of wood for barrels. Unfortunately, we don't have a tree farm set up yet, so I'm going to have to do this the old-fashioned way with a mechanical saw and a hand crank. I guess that's the old-fashioned way. Ooh, there's a cool wolf here. Hello. And by the way, we're just up north of our area here. There's a pretty massive spruce forest here. I think in the future, this is where I want to build my tree farms. I want to have an area for basically every single tree type. That way we don't really need to farm out anything individually for this. We can just have all of the trees farmed in one location, and I think it'll be pretty cool. We're also going to need a ton of copper sheets, and I'll get these barrels crafted as we're sort of waiting. I think we're probably going to want 81 in total, so this is probably a little bit overkill. So we're going to do this in a 3x3, just like that. And I also need to make a rolling mill. This is how you actually make the straws that allow you to use liquid fuel in the blaze burners. Technically, I haven't had one yet because all of the schematics just automatically set them as the ones that can just drink automatically, so I haven't actually had to make this yet. And to use this, we just throw paper, I think, or maybe you right-click it. Oh, it might be a hopper. To use this, I think we just hopper paper or I believe bamboo into it, and that will actually begin to produce straws. And now we can just go ahead and convert all of these guys into the blaze burners with a straw. These guys will actually consume liquid fuel instead of requiring a mechanical arm or a bucket manually to actually consume the fuel. But now we can get our fluid tanks on here. I'm gonna go with a 3x3, of course. And then we're just going to keep stacking up until we're basically at max size. Here we go. I think that is, yeah, 3x3 by 9 tall. Next up, we're going to need steam engines, which is just gold sheets, andesite alloy, and a block of copper. Unfortunately, waxed blocks of copper don't work for this, so I am going to have to strip these down. I did have an axe here. Here we go. And now we can craft our 9 steam engines. And I'm thinking I'm probably just going to want to put these in a little bit of a 3x3 up here. I think that should work right there. And we'll get a bunch of shafts here pointing down. Not right there, but right there we go. These are always a little bit awkward to place. Here we go, nice. Now I want a rotation speed controller, which is just a golden sheet with cogwheels, large cogwheels, iron nuggets in the deployer, just sort of repeated. Ah, dang it, of course, it turned into a golden sheet. Then we just need a brass casing and combine that with our precision mechanism. And that's a rotation speed controller. And I think for right now, I'm just going to place it down on the ground. We'll figure out the exact configuration for everything in just a little bit. Next up, I want to figure out exactly where our fuel is going to be coming in from. And I think I'm going to do it on this side. It might be underground though, actually. But for now, I just want to get our fluid pipes in place. These will connect directly with the blaze burners with straws and allow the lava, which is what we're going to be using for fuel, to directly enter them. And we're basically just going to copy the exact sort of lava generation thing that we did before that we have over there, where we use dripstone with lava already on top to produce even more lava. So we've got our dripstone blocks on top. We'll get our dripstone down here. And then down below, we just have some cauldrons with pipes directly below them. And now we'll just use the gold pack full of lava already and just fill in this sort of top layer here. I'm only doing a 3x3. Hopefully that's enough lava to just sort of passively generate enough heat. If not, we can expand it to a 5x5 later on. And now with a mechanical pump set up with a water wheel beneath of it, we are actually beginning to see some lava flow into the blaze burners. I think for now though, I am going to flip this around because we don't have any water running inside of here quite yet. The water should be fairly easy. We're basically just going to add a little fish tank on the side here. And we're just going to fill this with water. We're going to make sure that the mechanical pumps themselves are waterlogged. Here we go. And then we'll have basically 3 water here, making this middle line in the middle. Of course, the middle line is in the middle. That will be an infinite source of water. And then I'm just going to put some glass, probably just right here, just for decoration. And here we go. We are sort of passively generating. Oh, maybe this doesn't work actually. Okay, I think these middle ones. Let's see. Ah, okay. So these can't be stacked together. That's not too big of a deal. What I can just do is take this down and put it sort of horizontally instead. And now we're passively generating a little bit of power. And I can probably flip this around now, which should begin to actually give some of these blaze burners a little bit of lava. Because we're currently only on level 1 heat, which means that we're basically only using 1 steam engine. We're probably going to need to speed up both the water and the heat as well. Let's see. Are these cauldrons? This one's filled up, but it's not pulling lava out. Let's see. Oops. Okay, there's definitely lava in the tube. Oh, here we go. Okay, it's starting now. Yeah, the pump is a little bit slow. So to remedy the slowness of the system, I'm actually going to start by hooking it up to our rotation speed controller. And I'm actually going to add a stressometer here as well. That way we can actually see how much power we're generating and how much we're going to be using. And I think I want the power for the mechanical pumps to come off of this left side here. So I want the clutch on this left side here, and then we'll have all of our main power come off of the left side, and the right side will control everything else. I have this clutch here so that basically I'll be able to turn off the rest of the system if this steam engine ever shuts down and we need to have the water wheels sort of act as a backup power. All right, so I have everything hooked up here now. So we should see the boiler. Yeah, we're at level 3 now. And we're currently only at 32. Let's crank it up to 64. 64 puts us at level 4. Let's crank it all the way up to 256. Okay, we can handle that. Unfortunately, though, it does look like our heat is not going to be able to keep up. It also seems like this first one is taking up all of the lava. That's really weird. Maybe once this one fills up, it'll keep spreading out. So yeah, now our system is capable of handling 65,536 stress units, which is definitely a lot more than we're actually going to be using for quite a while, I think. And now all I need to really do is just hook it up to the system over here that already kind of exists. Let's see here, I think it's... yeah, it's over here. So I basically just want to take out all of these water wheels. We don't need them anymore, they're just causing lag at this point. And then we can get rid of all of this as well. Alright, so I have everything hooked back up, and currently at 64 RPM, we're using about 7% of our total capacity here. Now the boiler is currently at level 6, and I do think over time, as these blaze burners sort of fill up a little more, it's going to be a little bit slow, because I think some of them are going to get to the full 4 buckets, and then it'll continue to spread out a little bit more. I'm hoping that these ones don't just consume all of it, but yeah, I might have to either expand our lava down below. Yeah, our total stress capacity right now is 98,304, which is really, really crazy at level 6. And then, yeah, let's go up to 128. That's 14%. And all the way up to 256, that is about 30% of this only at level 6, which is absolutely nuts. That's with everything activated right now. I don't think most of these machines consume more power when they're being used or not. I don't think so. But yeah, we do have the mechanical crafter hooked up again as well. Look at our crushing wheels. This is kind of terrifying. I'm going to run some cobblestone through here, and let's just see how fast that goes through. Yeah, it just completely shreds through an entire stack of cobblestone. Although I don't think I'm getting anything out of it, which is a little bit weird. It might need to be reversed. I'm not entirely sure. Oh, it looks like it's ending up here, strangely enough. Hello? Oh, hello there. Oh, here we go. We're finally up to level 9 on the boiler status now. Nice. Yeah, I think level 9 is going to be our max. We have 9 steam engines. We only have 9 blaze burners as well. The only way to get more heat in this thing is to use blaze cakes, and I don't think that we're quite at the blaze cake automation level yet. So it does look like, though, these are starting to fuel up a little bit more as well, which is very, very nice. Hopefully that means that we can stay pretty consistently at level 9. But I do think that that's going to do it for today. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll catch you next time. Peace.